You live. If you guys are watching the recording, we're going to get started here in about 30 to 60 seconds. I'm going to share this out. My dogs just got in a fight, so I had to break that up real quick. I was about to go live and sheesh. What's going on? Just 10 look. What's up, Proc? Adish. Aji Parker. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. I'm just going to get into it. How's everyone doing today? I feel that what's really relevant for a lot of people right now is definitely relevant for me. I'm going to head outside here, get some fresh air. The message for today, guys, is trust yourself. Okay? You know more than you think. But what stops a lot of people and what really holds us back is that we're using our mind instead of our heart. We're trying to figure everything out up here, not realizing that we have limited information in our mind. Whereas our heart is connected to God. Our heart is connected to everything that ever was and ever will be. So we really got to go within and realize that our heart already knows the answer that we're looking for in our mind. I've been doing a lot of readings recently. I've been talking to a lot of people, friends and family. A lot of people have a lot of uncertainty right now. A lot of people are worried right now. A lot of people feel like there's this voice telling them they need to do something. And a lot of us are afraid to follow that intuition. A lot of us are scared. We're afraid. We got all these limiting beliefs. It happens to me from time to time as well. I'm sure it happens to a lot of us where we really feel guided to do one thing, but we feel like in our mind it doesn't make sense. Our heart's telling us one thing, but our mind says, hey, that doesn't make sense. Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I do this instead? That's way more safe. That's way more comfortable. This is what I'm used to. Shouldn't I just go back to doing this? It's much more comfortable. It's much more safe. But my message for you today is trust yourself. If you have this inner voice telling you to do something, that's your intuition. That's God speaking to you. Okay? If your heart's saying one thing, just know that oftentimes you're not going to know how to do it. It's not going to make sense in your mind because your heart is connected to all aspects of you. It's connected to the highest potential timeline of your future. So a heart, in a sense, is a way to connect to the future version of you that is that version of you that you've always wanted to be deep down. You see, your heart's connected to that. So when you're receiving a message from your heart, just know that's coming from, you could say it's coming from God, it's coming from your future self, it's coming from your guides. It's coming from the realm of omnipresence, okay? Messages from your heart come from the realm of omnipresence or your higher self, meaning that the omnipresent aspect of you that's coming from your heart can see all past, present, and future. So it already knows what's best for you to do. But if you're using and relying on the limitations in your mind, you're only using what you know about, okay? And when we're guided to a new future, which is really happening to about everyone on this planet right now, it's going to come from the heart. And the mind's really not going to know what to think about it because the physical mind we have, all the information it knows about is what it's experienced in the past, you see. But a lot of times when God shows you your future, you're not going to know the steps. You're only going to know the next step. You know, a lot of us, this happens to me sometimes, and this is what my guides have been sharing with me over and over again. This has been a repeating message for me and for everyone right now, is to stop worrying about the steps. Stop worrying about the next week. Stop worrying about how it's going to happen. Stop worrying about the next month, next week, because when you follow your guide's guidance, you're really only going to get one clue at a time. Because if you're operating in the dimension of, I'm going to listen to God, I'm going to listen to my spirit guides, if you're operating from that dimension, you're going to be in the eternal now. You're going to be in the present moment. And as soon as your mind takes you out of the present moment, that's you going back to the known self. That's you going back to the ego mind of trying to control everything. You see, but when you're operating in the present moment, in your heart space, you're connected to the fifth dimension. This is where you have access to your spirit guides. This is how you have access to hearing what God has to say for you. Any of you guys in your life at any point in time that have had something happen to you that was tough, you struggled, it hurt your feelings, someone died, you lost a job, something happened that you didn't know what to do and you had no choice but to surrender to God. That's, you see, the reason why a lot of times it takes failure, it takes heartache, it takes death for us to surrender to God is because we're up in our head all the time. And when we finally lose everything, we no longer have any thoughts to think. We have to say, hey, God, tell me what to do. You know? Yeah. Okay, Colton, good questions. I'll give you some practical advice here. I think it's important that we understand I don't think it's the point to break free from the ego as if the ego is a bad thing, but I think it would be good to not allow your ego to control you, okay? So basically it's like, from one perspective, you're either allowing your mind to control you or you're controlling your mind. And through process of meditation is going to be probably the best way. Meditation is how you learn and realize and experience that you are not your thoughts. You are the presence experienced in. And essentially, from my perspective, what the ego is this identity you have created about yourself that only exists in your mind, when in reality, your true self exists within your heart. You see, but because of where you grew up and who you hang around and what you do and what you think about, you've been conditioned to thinking that you are this person that has these physical limitations that are in this body, and you think that's all you are. Not realizing that your soul is connected to all times and spaces. Your soul is within your heart, within your soul. You have access to everything, okay? It already exists within you. And that's why one thing I always say is that the real world exists within yourself. The outer world just reflects back to you how you feel and what you believe about it, okay? The real world is within yourself. So to break free from your ego is to realize that your ego is you only get to use this ego while you're here on this earth in this incarnation. Your soul is everlasting. Your soul is eternal. This physical reality that we're experiencing in these bodies is temporary, okay? It's temporary. So to access your future guides, just realize that they're already speaking with you. You know, your guides are always with you whether you're aware of it or not. And to access your guides, you have to turn off your mind and turn on your heart. That's how you access your guides. You have to turn off your mind and turn on your heart. Because when you can, I think the best way to really receive messages from whatever you believe it is, whatever the words you use, whether you say it's God, whether you say it's the universe, whether you say it's your guides, the way to receive the message is to be still, to be silent. Go sit with yourself without your phone. Go sit with yourself without a book, without those audios. You know, I love to read books all the time. I love to listen to audios all the time. But sometimes I still got to remind myself that there's no book and no audio that can tell me what God can tell me. It's straight up. How you access God is within yourself, okay? How do you concentrate while meditating? Because something else is going on in my mind always. Yeah, good question. How to concentrate while meditating is to realize you don't need to concentrate. You essentially, this is what you do. You focus on your breath in your meditation. Focus on your breath. And the best advice I can give you when it comes to meditation is focus your awareness into the base of your spine. Breathe it up deeply into your heart. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, and then out for 4. Focus your awareness on your breath instead of in your mind, okay? And to concentrate while meditating is realize that you don't need to concentrate. You just need to take your awareness out of your mind and into your heart. And just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. You know, it might take you 5 minutes. It might take you 10. It might take you 30. I don't know, wherever you're at. The thing is, meditation's easiest when you're in the habit of meditating. If you haven't meditated in a week or a month or never in your life, it's probably going to be hard the first couple times because your mind's not going to want to do it. Your mind's going to resist it. Your mind's going to say, I don't want to sit here. I just want to get back on my phone. I just want to watch some TV. It's much easier for me. But you see, to die before death is to realize that there is no death. The only death is the ego death. Okay? If you're looking for a shortcut, well, I wouldn't even say that. But if you're already in the practice of meditating, if someone's asking, how do I break free from my ego? I would say meditation is number one. And if meditation isn't enough for you, I would go a little bit further and get into plant medicine. You know, get into plant medicine. Maybe get some psilocybin, some mushroom, some magic mushrooms. That's another way that you can access God. It's another way you can access your higher self. It's another way you can access your heart space. And if meditating doesn't work, as far as breaking free from your ego, I mean, a plant medicine experience will definitely do that for you. Okay, it'll show you that the present moment is all that we have. And everything outside of the present moment only exists in your mind, you see. Your soul is eternal and everlasting, and your mind is limited to this physical experience. It's a good question. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. You know more than you think. Your heart has the answer before your mind could think of the question. Recurring message over this last week and a half for my guys that they said I could share with everyone is that We don't have to figure everything out. We don't have to figure it out. A lot of us right now, we're seeing a lot of the illusions of this old world being exposed. We're seeing a lot of things about ourselves being exposed, and we're like, I don't know what to think about this. What should I do with all this information? Who should I listen to? I got all these different informations out there, all these different sources. I got the politics, I got the government, the religion, I got my friends, I got my family. Everyone has an opinion about everything. Okay? Everyone has an opinion about everything. And if 2020 and 2021 taught me anything, it was that you can really only trust yourself. You got to trust yourself, your inner voice. Because on a fundamental core aspect of who we are as spiritual beings is we are all unique perspectives of the one infinite creator. So realize that God is within all of us, but you have your own unique perspective. Okay? So to trust yourself is to listen to your heart instead of listening to other people. Because everyone else is just sharing their own perspective. And most people, quite frankly, aren't sharing a conscious perspective. They're sharing an unconscious program and beliefs that they got from other people. So realize that. You can't believe what everyone else says. Use this thing called discernment. Discernment. What is your heart telling you? What is your heart telling you? See, this is why there's been a war on intuition on this planet. This is why there's been a war on the third eye on this planet. This is why that we've been fed processed foods. This is why we've been fed pharmaceutical drugs, because it tampers with your ability to feel your emotions. That's why it's been happening on purpose. You see, if you're taking pharmaceutical drugs, if you're eating processed foods all the time, if you're distracted on social media all the time, you have no bullshit detector. You have no bullshit detector. Quite frankly, you no longer have the ability to feel your own intuition. All you have is whatever enters your mind. Okay? So to trust yourself is to listen to your heart over your mind. Your mind only knows what it's experienced. Your heart knows everything. Okay? Hopefully this helps, guys. This was the quick message of the day. Trust yourself. A lot of times, I will say for those of you guys just hopping on, what's been happening on a collective level, which we're all part of the collective mind, what's happening right now is our higher selves are guiding us. Your inner voice is probably telling you to take a step up a little bit, to step up a little bit. You got more coming for you, but you got to be willing to take leaps of faith. You got to be willing to do things you've never done before. It's going to get uncomfortable. But the reason why it's uncomfortable is because you haven't done it yet. That's all. But realize the guidance you're getting within your heart is coming from your future self. Your future self already made it to the future, you see? So if your future self is giving you guidance in the heart, it's telling you, hey, do this because I already made it. Just follow my advice. I'm already here. Okay? So that's what I'd say. Just when you get that guidance, when you get that inner voice, man, just follow it. You don't have to question it. It doesn't have to make sense. You don't have to figure out all the steps. Just realize, man, trust the present moment. Take care of the present moment, and the future will take care of itself. Because the future is nothing more than a continuation of present moments. I'm going to drop this recording, y'all. It was a pleasure being on here. You guys have a great rest of your day. Send me a message if there's anything I can help you with. And much love and peace.